Okay, hold on a sec. I'm going to start it up. Just a sec. I actually tore down my website
Oh
because
yeah.
I want to start it from scratch
Okay.
and update it.
Okay.
What the hell? Non, attends, quelque chose marche pas là. Hold on. Live stream. That's right. The damn thing is working. Is it working?
The demonstration ended outside an old wooden cottage. It serves as the American consulate.
A sec.
Okay. Mark, you didn't say anything if he was coming or not?
No. Hold on. What the hell? Come on.
I'll come here to try to make some friends.
On his own dime and time, Cox came to Greenland from his home in Charleston, South Carolina. A Trump evangelist on an unofficial mission.
I'm not looking at you like a tiger looking at your tail. Pounce on you.
It seems like we're live on YouTube, no?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, I think it worked.
We're live now?
Yeah, we're live now.
Oh, good.
Salut la gang. Hey guys. AJ Gentile, Andrew James Photography for another evening of photo review de voyons, notre groupe Facebook, Photographie avec AJ. I'm here joined tonight with my co-hosts. We got Uncle Bob. Say hi, T.
Hi guys. Hi guys. I'm here. Bonjour. Bonsoir.
And we've got Melina with us tonight. Hey,
Yeah.
Melina.
Hi.
So how you guys been since the last time we saw each other last month?
Ladies first.
Go ahead there, Melina.
Been good. Yes, we wrapped up with our club photo RDP. We had our last night. It was a success. Nice black and white photos in the theme of Richard Avedon, and we'll miss each other, but I think we'll have some other events during the summer to keep in touch.
Yeah.
And since then, yes, I've been getting back into my argentique, and I've been making good use of my newly bought films.
Fantastic. And this was the last meeting you guys had for the season?
Well, for now,
Exactly, for
we
now.
start in September. I think.
You started in September, yeah?
I think so, eh?
Do you
Melina?
guys know if
Yes.
anybody's going to the SPPQ tomorrow night? Not tomorrow night, but Monday night?
Oh,
Uh,
Monday night.
I think Gilbert is going.
Oh yeah?
I think I
Okay.
have the picture in there, so I don't know where it's gonna stand.
Well, if I can, I'll see if I can take a snapshot of it with my phone.
Yeah, it's are you going?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, yeah,
here,
well,
yeah,
we're one of the sponsors, so I
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
go. But I don't know this year if I'm going to be doing the because apparently my director Nicolas Blanchard is supposed to be with me that night there with my colleague Lynn,
Okay.
who also happens to be la présidente du club Roussillon in Candiac. We usually go the last since the pandemic. She and I have been going every, and they always stick me with giving the prize for le concours du livre.
Okay.
Je m'en rappelle pas le nom du concours au complet.
Circuit, je pense.
No, pas le circuit, their actual photo books.
Oh, photo books, okay.
Usually
Yeah,
about 10 or 12 photo books that they do a contest with.
yeah, yeah.
And they announce the winner because there's 4 or 5 contests in all with the SPPQ.
Okay. Anyway, I came in second in our club,
Okay.
and I think they had to give 4 pictures. So
Yeah,
two
that's
black and
right.
white,
2 black, white, 2
white,
color.
2 color, yeah. Mine was a color picture.
Yeah, that's the Interclub.
I think so, yeah.
That's the one that they
It's
have
all the clubs
two
in
cases of photos that go around and visits all the photo clubs that are involved in the SPPQ.
That's it. That's it.
Puis tout le monde vote sur leur préférence.
Yeah, exactly.
Good, great,
So,
congratulations,
let me
guys.
know where I stand.
I'll let you know where you stand. Absolutely. Before we continue, I just want to mention, guys, il y a 2 semaines encore qui restent pour réserver votre place à mon atelier chez nous à 10h30 sur l'atelier de argentique. And with it comes this beautiful, plus que 100 pages,
Yes,
guide.
very nice.
Justement, mon oncle Bob, il l'a regardé. Ma femme l'a regardé. Je l'ai passé à quelques collègues aussi pour qu'ils le revisent. Ça a pris 1 an pour que je compile ce livre de référence-là. It's a 2-day thing, c'est 2 jours. Samedi matin, on shoot le matin. On fait un petit photo walk, marche photo pendant 2-3 heures. Après ça, on se rejoint au magasin à Brossard pour développer euh, nos pellicules. Le lendemain matin, je vous montre comment les numériser, soit avec un appareil photo, avec un téléphone ou avec un numérisateur à plat. Après ça, dimanche après-midi, c'est comment les préparer pour soit l'impression ou pour l'exportation pour les réseaux sociaux ou pour un diaporama. Pour ceux qui sont, for those who are a little bit skittish about, the whole film thing, this workshop, I've been working on it for over a year. It's really an introduction. So even if you do shoot already film, I'm going to show you some tricks that Uncle Bob's well aware of, and that Melina's also well aware of, rules of thumb we used in film back in the day, really to help you shoot more successfully and have more successful shots on your film than just as we've come to accept in digital photography, spray and pray, because evidently film photography costs money. So I'm going to show you how to do focus with hyperfocal. I'm going to show you the Sunny 16 rule. I'm going to show you, how to gauge your light versus the quality of shadows.
Talk
Really,
about zone system too.
I will talk a little bit about the zone system also. Yes, definitely. But, for those of you who are timid about shooting film, as I tell all of my students, dans tous mes cours, c'est pas de la science infuse. It's really not rocket science. And I'm actually thinking about, for this being the first shot at this workshop avec cet atelier, c'est que pour ceux qui veulent l'essayer puis qui n'ont pas un appareil photo, qui n'ont pas en temps réel, the workshop I forget what the price is. You have to call the store. But if you don't have the equipment, evidently the price doesn't include the equipment. The equipment is sold separately, which you can purchase. And if you're skittish about getting the equipment because you don't know if you want to do it or not, I will be supplying my own equipment for you to use. And I was actually thinking of maybe bringing 2 or 3 of my film cameras for those who want to use an SLR who don't have access to one. As a
How about a Yashica 124 man?
We're only shooting 35 millimeter.
Okay. Well, then that's an inside joke.
Yeah. So I just wanted to mention this to everybody with the Facebook group and my YouTube followers. Si vous êtes dans les alentours de Montréal puis ça tente, la fin de semaine, c'est le 10 et 11 mai. I need a minimum of people. We're going to be a maximum of about 6 to 8. We're not sure yet. We haven't decided. But it'll be 6 to 8 people. So, I really want this to take off. Evidently, we've been having trouble with the announcing it, promoting it, but that's why I'm trying to do it here right now. So thank you very much, guys, for the little aside. But like I said, you've got a manual, and I have an English version of this manual. Evidently, I wrote it in English before I translated it to French. La version française, elle a 115 pages. Puis certains de vous qui veulent savoir, j'ai fait une liste de tous nos pellicules qu'on tient en stock avec une description de les différences et les qualités, les caractéristiques de chacun des pellicules qu'on tient en stock. So that's a little bit,
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a lot of history in here. There's a history on film. There's a history on cameras. I even talk about. I've got 2 sections on Kodachrome. I'm sure Uncle Bob is
Kodachrome.
exactly.
Give me the light. Yes.
Actually, today I was out shooting today in downtown Montreal in the Atwater area with my Leica 3F.
Is that a meter on top that I saw?
Yeah, this is the it's not exact. I think if I'm not mistaken, I measured it earlier today with an actual light meter, and it was about a stop and a half off.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the Konica LV. I don't know
Oh,
if you
yeah,
can,
yeah. Okay, I know it. Yeah, yeah. I
right?
know it. Yeah.
And this particular light meter actually works on an EV scale.
Yeah.
So I have a little card with the equivalent shutter speeds and apertures
On the EV scale, yeah.
on the EV scale, based on the EV scale that this here, and actually it's an EV scale, but it also has an ISO indicator. So you fix the ISO here, and then you just
Yeah, then you follow, yeah.
follow exactly what
Yeah, yeah. Correct.
you know, um, yeah. And so I can't wait for that to happen. Other than that, I've been doing a lot of scanning. I think just this week I've scanned about 5 rolls of film.
No, that's good.
So I'm getting closer and closer to emptying up some space over here for more
Oh, look at
development.
that.
Okay.
This is all ready to develop.
That's already
Ah.
developed?
Yeah.
Is that black and white or color? See,
Both. You got both in there.
you got both in there?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a session then, that means when you come back?
Well, we'll see. I might do it before. We'll see.
Oh, okay.
We'll see, because these are all the new cameras that I got.
Okay.
You know, I each shot a film on each one of them. So, you know.
Right. And just you were saying earlier this week, you're gonna be shooting on your trip, you're gonna be shooting slide.
Oh,
Yeah, I want to try at least one roll and
Yeah.
see what comes out, and see what happens. You know, me, I like
Yeah.
to experiment, so you know. But
Fantastic.
I'm just bringing one little Razik.
Okay.
I'm bringing an underwater camera.
Yeah.
I'm bringing the Nikon ZF
Okay.
with the 24 120 lens,
Okay.
and a little digital pocket camera that, just in case something happens to the other one, I have a backup, you know.
Right.
But that's all I'm bringing. I'm not bringing everything because, you know,
I've actually
I'm
been
bringing
doing,
a tripod. I'm bringing a tripod,
yeah.
but a small tripod, you know, a mini tripod.
Okay.
And c'est ça.
Also, don't forget, guys, tout le monde, demain, c'est la grande journée mondiale, internationale mondiale de le STNP. It's the International Worldwide Pinhole Day tomorrow. And on the pinholeday.org site again this year, I opened up an album for Montreal. Fait que si vous faites du pinhole demain, you have until May 31st to post your images. For today, for tomorrow.
Oh, yes, yeah, for tomorrow.
Yeah. And post it in the Montreal group. You can find it in the albums. Melina was there last year. Uncle Bob, were you there last year? I forget.
I was there, but I didn't post anything.
You didn't post anything? I was there. Oh, no, that was right. It was Manny.
Yeah, it was
Manny posted.
Manny
I was
posted.
there.
Yeah. Melina and I
Nick was
posted.
there too last year.
That's right. Nick was there.
Yeah.
Fab
So,
was there.
hey.
Fab was
Oh,
there.
we had a few people there.
Yeah, Fab was there.
Fab was there, yeah. Yeah, and Fab didn't post anything, of
And
course.
Luco was there.
Yeah,
Luco
Luco
was there,
too.
yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Exactly. So don't forget tomorrow it's international. I'm gonna be out with my box camera from Monsieur Gilles in Sherbrooke. I'll be using that again, and I'll probably have my skink. I think it's the skink lens for my pinhole for my digital. I might bring that out too. I'm gonna try to shoot the Champlain from under the Champlain Bridge tomorrow morning
Nice.
before I go to work. So that should be interesting.
This is
What do you got there?
the I haven't tried it yet,
Yeah.
but I am gonna try it. I bought it for all time.
Oh yeah.
Well,
So,
Where'd you get that off of?
this is a
Website?
a Holga
Oh, yeah.
pinhole lens for Nikon.
Okay, nice.
So it was pretty reasonable too. It was like $45 or something like that.
What was the f-stop? What is the f-stop?
The f-stop equivalent, I think, is f11.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I gotta rewrite. I gotta reread the book, but I think it's a f11.
Well, usually it's smaller than that.
Nikon, Olga, front cover, back cover, blah blah blah. F-stop equivalent. You got a few hours?
Well, no, but it's not written on the lens. The F?
No. No, it's the equivalent of a 25 millimeter,
Okay.
but that's it. There's no f-stop on it.
Oh, interesting.
But
Okay.
when I had bought it, my somebody had said the f11, my sound,
Okay.
but I might be wrong there. But de toute façon, the meter is going to register, you know. The meter should register through it anyway. See, split image lenses. This is here. I don't believe they don't mark it in the thing here at all. Okay,
Do they
judge the
tell you
lighting
this?
condition for the environment and set the aperture. Very good, but you can't set the aperture. There's no aperture to set.
I know.
The exposure of the picture taken is 2 minutes long by adjusting shutter speed and or exposure value of the camera. No, okay, so in this case here, we adjust the we shoot a picture
Yeah.
in digital, and if it's too dark, well, you fix the shutter speed.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You don't really have any aperture you can adjust, so.
No, but usually that actual pinhole has a size.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm surprised they.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Did you get it off Amazon?
Did I get off? It could be.
If you got it,
A while
okay, I
ago.
found it on Amazon.
It's a while ago I found that. Don't they say F11 or F16?
And well, see, the thing is that stop it with. Yeah, that's what happens when you give it to people to write descriptions with the freaking, what's it called there, AI there.
Yeah.
Well, the focal length here description here is 0.25 millimeters, which is impossible. Okay.
Yeah,
And
with
it says the
25
camera lens description is 0.25 millimeters.
Yeah.
But there's no actual aperture size. So I bet you the aperture size is physically 1/4 of a millimeter.
Yeah.
So what you got to do is, and it's probably a focal length of 25 millimeters.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what's marked on the
It's
lens.
25 millimeters divided by, so okay, so here I'll do the calculation straight out. If we got 25 millimeters divided by 1/4, 25 divided by 0.25, you're looking at, it's an F100.
F100?
Yeah.
Sure about that?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, we the f-stop, right?
Right.
Is literally the ratio from the focal length to the diameter of, so if the diameter of the hole, the aperture is 25 millimeters, sorry, is 1/4 of a millimeter.
Yeah.
Well, 25 millimeters divided by 1/4 is 100.
Yeah,
Therefore, it's
where do you
100
get?
times smaller.
Okay, but where do you get the 0.25?
It's in the description. It says here, see, it says the focal length is 25 millimeters and the
Yeah.
camera lens description is a 0.25 millimeter.
Oh, okay,
It's a
so they say that.
0.2, it's a 0.25
Okay, then
millimeter,
it's F100. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. right?
Based on those calculations, but
If that's what it really is,
yeah, exactly. So,
right?
but I'll tell you once I shoot it.
Yeah.
Shoot it.
Are you bringing that with you?
Well, I wasn't bringing it with me to Europe, no. No, but I'm gonna play with it tomorrow. I'm gonna try it tomorrow. See what I can do with it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, man.
Let's go with the photo review. What do you guys think of that?
Sure. No.
Huh?
Sure.
Okay, hold on. Let's share the screen. Here we go. Share. And it should be sharing any minute now. Yep. Here we go.
Oh, yeah, but is that the month? That's the month before, though. March 29. Could be? No?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, wait. Okay. Yep. But I don't remember discussing this.
Depends when we did our monthly
No.
review. Was it before the 29th of March?
Could be, yeah.
I think it was before the 29th of March.
Could be.
So this was a Greek restaurant in Greece?
Yes, this was a restaurant in Greece that we had eaten at, and I liked it because it was like outside and inside at the same time. You know what I mean?
Okay. But we
And-
on what? We see
and-
through the alley.
Yeah, and the I like the lighting. You know what I mean? Everybody just they didn't care. They just you take a picture, and you know. And I found the lighting was just nice. That's why I took the picture.
Beautiful shot. This was digital?
This is digital, yeah. This is what the FZ.
Okay. Fantastic shot. It's a little warm.
Yeah, a little bit on the warm side, but if you notice, when you get to the trees at the end,
Yeah.
the
daylight.
white balance is right.
Yeah, exactly.
And the inside is the incandescent,
C'est ça.
you know, so it's natural that there's a bit more orange in it on the inside, and on
Right.
the outside it's right, you know. I could have did it the other way around and made the inside white balance. Then you would add less orange, but the outside would have looked like it was a background and not the natural thing.
Exactly. Beautiful shot though. I like the capture.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
On to our next one.
Okay. This year I was very impressed with people jumping off that thing.
What is it? A pier?
It's a little pier, and I jumped off it myself. And
Oh yeah?
yeah, we jumped into about 12 feet of water,
Adventurous.
Okay.
and it was really beautiful. It was really, and people would go one after the other, like, you know.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yes, and that and the sky, because it was further away, it was raining,
Right.
and so it was the whole thing was like dynamic. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. And I like that I mean, you captured the clouds almost perfectly there.
Yeah, yeah. For a black and white, because I did shoot it in black and white mode.
Okay.
There's 3 modes on the ZF.
Okay.
And one has more contrast, one has less contrast, and I always choose the one in the mid,
Okay.
because I like to take care of the contrast myself after,
Okay.
if I have to, you know.
Okay. Don't forget with digital photography too,
Yeah,
you're capturing a positive, right? So you
Absolutely.
typically want to underexpose more
That's
so
right.
than overexpose,
exactly.
right? Specifically up here in the woods.
Yeah,
Mind you, you've probably got enough information here en fichier raw with the raw file
yeah,
that you could probably pull a little bit more detail out here in this part of the clouds.
yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. The only thing I'm not that crazy about in this picture is that the girl doesn't stand out enough.
Yeah,
See, I would have liked her to stand out more, you know.
right.
But
Yeah, she's a
as a
little bit.
general shot, I figured it was pretty good.
But it looks
Oh.
like, yeah, you capture it as though she's standing on that boat in the background.
Yeah, you got her exactly at that.
Yeah, it's really
If
cool.
you look, where is it? Hold on.
Indeed.
She just
Look at it.
Looks
Look at it.
like
Look
she's
at
standing. Yeah, look at that.
perhaps I should have cropped it like that. It looks good.
Yeah, it's actually really good. Actually. This
Yeah.
is good.
And you see the guy's already, his hand is in the guy in the water already, you see?
Where we?
Oh,
That's
See,
his
look.
hand.
Where?
At the
Oh
bottom.
my God! Yeah, there he is.
Bottom.
I see him. That's right. Yeah, I see him.
Yeah, yeah. The guy was drowning. I think she was jumping into it. She was jumping into
Nice
it.
shot.
yeah,
Perfect
nice shot.
exposure there.
Wow.
This is
This was
Pas
in
Notre
Quebec
Dame, ça?
City. Eh?
c'est pas Notre Dame, ça?
No, this was in Quebec City.
Oh, in Quebec City. Okay.
in Quebec City, we had a hotel, and from my hotel room, this was the church. The church
Okay.
was being renovated, and a lot of people in the front were homeless people sleeping on the stairs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of them were, you know, and
Okay.
but I like the symmetry, and at the height I was, the perspective didn't distort too much.
No, exactly. You're practically perfectly aligned with the center of the church.
Yeah, exactly. So this at the height we were was just the right height to not have any distortion, you know.
Where did you shoot it from?
And I was about on the 8th floor, if I remember right, 8th or 9th floor of the
Okay.
hotel, and it was I was on the balcon, you know, and it was just
Oh, yeah, okay.
it was just in front of me.
Puis justement, on avait parlé, we talked about this with, I think it was with Mark last month. We're talking about perspective, or maybe I'm mixing it up with one of my customers in one of my classes. But l'effet que mon oncle Bob, il est vraiment, il a monté à la centre du bâtisse.
Yeah,
Because we're literally looking dead on,
Yep.
the verticals are practically straight.
absolutely, because you it's giving equal distortion to the top and to the bottom at the same time,
Exactly.
you know.
And that specifically comes from the fact that, and we don't see these aberrations because evidently our retina is concave.
Right?
So light hitting the top of our retina, the back of our retina, the bottom of our retina, to the extreme left or to the extreme right, is constantly the same focal length. On a film camera or on a digital camera, the sensor is flat.
Hmm.
And the distortion comes from the fact that the light hitting it from the side, hitting it from the top, and hitting it from the bottom is longer than the light coming directly and hitting the sensor in the middle.
That's right.
And that's what makes it that when you're too low, your top of the verticals fall out.
Yeah.
And when you're too high, they fall towards the vanishing point or le point, what's it called? Le point, oh man.
The horizon? No.
Well, the horizon, but en français, they call it le point de fuite. Le point de fuite.
The point fit, okay.
Like, you know, when you're standing at a railway tracks,
Yeah.
les chemins de fer, quand tu regardes vers l'horizon, they come together,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
right? That's your vanishing point.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it looks as if they don't meet, right?
Exactly. Well, we know
yeah.
they don't meet, but visually at the hyperfocal distance of infinity, it looks like they meet
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
because
don't-
we're standing above.
Oh, okay.
yeah, don't forget though, your brain does a lot of correction. That the camera doesn't do.
And that, believe it or not, I learned a lot about when I did my conference for the photo clubs on resolution. The brain literally, it's speculated that the brain ignores 80% of the information our eyes bring to the brain. So it's
Okay.
only analyzing and manipulating 20% of what we see, which makes us such great machines to see during broad daylight and night.
Okay.
It's fantastic. It's amazing our brain, how it works.
Oh, it is for sure.
On to the next.
Yep.
By the way, see, I love the quality of your sky.
Yeah, isn't it nice?
Sky is perfect, and the exposure is just right all the way around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we have another sky from Z.
Yeah, this sky here, this is in Italy,
Okay.
and it was so impressed. It looked like a spaceship. That cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so impressive. I took one in color and I took one in black and white, but I love the one in black and white better because the tops of the heads of the people are just enough to say they're there. I mean, you can't really make out anybody per se, but it's just to say that there's people standing looking up at this beautiful cloud, you know? And no, I love the shot. It's a really nice shot.
This
I can't-
it almost makes me feel like they're waiting for an eclipse or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's us. No, it was really impressive that
Beautiful shot. And it works well with the silhouette.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's a nice.
Vraiment
nice
bien.
shot.
Bien réussi. Ouais, bien réussi.
I was gonna cut out this little. You want to go back?
Sorry, go
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
I was gonna cut out on the right side. You see, there's like a roof piece.
Yeah, over here.
I was gonna cut it out, but I felt that it took off too much of the sky. You know, if I would
Yeah.
have propped it at the line there,
Right.
the sky wouldn't have been the same thing. You know what I mean?
No.
So I left it in.
Well, you would have had a lot more. The white here would have taken a lot more out of the exposure.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
nice shot.
Beautiful shot here. Here we got Mark with his bird photography,
Yes.
and we have a beautiful sparrow here.
Yeah.
The focus is fantastic. Depth
Yeah.
of field is magnificent.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And again, he forgot to put in his voyons, his exposure, which lens he was using. I think he was probably using his I think he's got I think he has a 100 400. Mais quand on la regarde, it looks really nice. The eyes,
Yeah.
well, yeah, the eye is sharp.
Yeah. No, his focus is excellent on this.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
It could have had a slight more contrast, but otherwise, a beautiful shot.
Yeah. Maybe a little tighter,
Yeah, a little tighter.
a
Yeah.
little tighter crop,
Yeah.
you know, but otherwise it falls in pretty good.
Well, that was, you see, Mark, J'aime la couleur de café there. That was one of the themes of RDP.
Oh, okay. Okay, ouais, c'est ça, c'est un travaux de club RDP. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Oh, how did it go, by the way, your exhibition? It's
Right.
still going on, isn't it?
No, it was only that day.
Oh, it was only that day. Okay.
Mhm.
Melena had some beautiful shots there.
Yeah, I did my kiosk was like mostly argentique film, photography, black and white. I did everything
Okay.
black and white.
Nice. And
I
you did
didn't
this,
put-
this was
I
in
didn't
a
put it-
secondary school.
Yeah, I think last minute, well, we were supposed to do it at the recreation center, but something to do with the renovations last minute. Somehow everything came together and they found another place.
And they
Right.
really found a nice place, Andrew.
Yeah.
The lighting was excellent.
Yeah.
There was a sunroof,
Okay.
and you could see all the beautiful photographs well. You know,
Fantastic.
it
Yeah.
was really nice. Yeah.
And these shots, are any of these shots yours?
Oh no, this was the poster
Yeah, that was the poster of it.
for the event. I don't know where they came from, those shots.
Oh, okay.
So I shared it like to this group.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
because the event shot. This shot here, Melena, I love it. I love this shot.
Yes, this was actually taken during the montage of the exposition in the school, the high
Oh,
school.
yeah?
Okay.
Oh,
It was like an overcast day when we were setting up, and I noticed, I don't know, there was like some diffuse lighting coming in through the windows, and it created, I don't know, this interaction with the locker, the reflections, and I just had to take this shot.
Fantastic.
No,
Beautiful
it is.
shot.
It's a fantastic shot. You got the dynamics of the lines and
Yeah.
the squares.
Exactly.
And at the top, you have a reflection of that squares that become zigzags. It's really a
Yeah,
beautiful
I like
shot.
that.
Yeah.
Really a beautiful shot.
You really did a good
Yeah.
job, good interpretation of the reflections in the ceiling there.
Absolutely, and well exposed too.
Yep. For especially for contre-jour like this, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely well
Yeah, I
exposed.
think it was like those windows in the background. It was, like,
Yeah, yeah.
really cool.
Great shot there.
Were you
Billy.
on a tripod when you did that?
No, this is handheld.
It was handheld. What's
That was handheld. Nice. And you
Nice.
got it. You got it. You froze it.
Yeah, because you have an f-stop of at least f11 at least.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, it's not more. So because everything's focused. You see, everything's focused.
Mhm, right.
Really, you know what I mean? It's like.
And this Milena was on film, right?
No, this is
Okay,
a
this was
digital
digital.
shot.
Oh, this is digital. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice shot though. Really
Beautiful shot.
Thank you.
Here we have another one to Mark, Alcatraz.
Trying to get out of Alcatraz, the poor guy.
I hope you guys finally got out.
Oh
Uh-huh.
yeah, he was stuck. Oh,
Yeah, it looks like he's stuck, eh?
It does. It looks like you see,
well, maybe,
he can't get past his shoulders.
Yeah.
But
Get the
Mark-
they know how to get out.
Oh, for
hopefully
sure.
Mark rescued it.
Beautiful shot, Mark. You did well on the snow.
Yeah,
You
Good.
left enough detail in the snow that it's not blown out completely.
right.
On the shadows in the snow are typically blue like that.
Yeah. Could
I
have been.
like the way you cropped. Well, I mean, I like the way that you positioned him on the Le Point Fort, up in the top right corner there, or the top right intersection of the rule of thirds.
Well, I find that the curve in the snow and the bottom piece brings us to that too.
Exactly.
Wow.
So that I would have cropped it a little tighter, but I would have kept that curve in the snow.
Yeah. Something more like
About
Yeah.
about
no,
like
wait a
that.
minute. Sorry, hold on.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like this.
That might be too much. Yeah.
Exactly.
But
Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you
Very
still want to put emphasis on the squirrel.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
But no, a nice shot. Nice
Yeah,
shot.
very good shot.
Was it electric fence? I wonder if he did.
Oh,
Who knows? Milena, this is yours.
yes.
Oh,
I
and
got my-
this was with your half frame.
Yeah, I got my half frame going again. My
Nice.
shoot.
Ah,
What happened to it?
Whoop. Sorry.
What happened to it? You said you got it working again.
Oh no, it was just me who did it, who like switched back to digital, and like it was a while that I hadn't used it. So
Oh, okay,
I
okay,
got
okay,
it,
okay.
I got it working again. I mean, I got myself working with it again.
All right, okay. So for those of you who don't know, the Kodak H35 was actually one of the first Kodak in the 21st century, one of their first Instamatics half frames. So on a 36 exposure, you actually get 72 photos. Yeah, 72. Yeah, 72. C'est 72 photos. Let me tell you, I've got the H35. Actually, I have it. Where is it? It's up here.
You
The
have
kids-
one.
The kids use it now. So here's the I don't know if let me see here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I have.
Right. And I've got the other version of this one, which is called the H35N. And the big difference of it is that there's a stupid plastic filter on it that gives you star
effects.
star effects exactly. But the big difference is it's a rechargeable flash. And what was the other thing? There was something else with it. Oh, rather than having a plastic lens, it has a glass lens
Oh, okay.
on the H35N. And there we go. So you used Ilford Delta 400?
Yeah, I was curious about it and just slipped it in.
Have you actually compared it with your HP5?
I don't know. I didn't do a side-by-side comparison. Maybe I will do that.
Okay.
Because I have a HP5 and I haven't finished that one yet. So once they come out, maybe on the next review.
I like the grain in it though. It's got nice grain.
Yeah, it's the Delta 400 is the T grain versus the cubic grain of the HP5. So
Okay.
basically this grain technically reacts a little bit more like a pixelization
Okay.
rather than an actual because the grain Kodak and Ilford started this in the late 80s using T-Max is tabular compared to the Tri-X for Kodak, and the Delta 400 or the Delta is the tabular grain compared to the cubic grain of the FP4 and the HP5.
I love Trimax. I love
Tri-X.
Tri-X.
Yeah.
The
definitely.
T-Max, I don't like.
Actually, technically, if you develop this yourself at home, you're
Yeah.
looking to use a fine grain developer.
Okay.
If you develop it with regular developer,
Yeah,
or what we call the cubic grain developer.
Yeah.
Apparently, it reacts with the grain and makes the grain slightly bigger.
okay.
Is there a reason one would want to use this Delta versus the HP5 or to like
Well, the whole
specific?
thing is that once you hit 400 ISO, the grain was such a well could have been such a problem that the two companies wanted to invent. They wanted to experiment with a different type of shaped grain to make it more soothing to the eye,
Okay.
right? Because when you do compare this to, and I have compared, I should do a video on it, but I have compared HP5 to Delta 400, and I find Delta 400 specifically when I'm using, because I do have a box of Delta 400 in my 4x5, but in larger, you see a big difference in contrast.
Okay.
There tends to be more contrast in HP5 for me
Mhm.
than there is
Yeah,
with
there
the
is.
Delta 400.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Z.
HP5.
I agree because I like the shot. I like the image itself. I find would a little bit more contrast
Yes.
would help it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And if the statue could stand out a little bit more, but I know it's hard because in black and white it becomes the same color as the bricks.
Yeah, that's it.
exactly.
You know, and but it's a nice shot in general.
Here,
Yeah.
actually, you know what? For the statue, I wonder, Melina, if you reshoot it, but you line up the statue with that middle window.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll have to go. I mean, it's close to me, so I'll have to go back and try with my HP5
Shoot it a little bit more from the left
from the left.
onwards,
Yeah.
and you'll
Mhm.
probably get a little bit more separation between the statue and
Well,
because it falls
well,
kind of in the dark area where the brick is.
Mhm. Okay. Right.
And if you do shoot her with the top circle on her head, it'll look like a halo.
It'll look like a halo
Oh,
too. Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
Okay. So,
That's right.
okay,
So it
that's
actually
good.
might bring more attention to her and baby Jesus's face.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
maybe I'll do some test shots digitally and then try
There you go.
Yeah. That's it.
yeah, just to see like,
Beautiful shot, Melina.
It is.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So Melina, you have the H35. What else have you got for camera for film? You have the
Well,
Minolta?
right now I have a Delta 100 in my Minolta. The
But no, but the
700.
camera wise, you have a Minolta. What is it? A Maxim 7?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
I have a Kodak H35. I have a Kodak M35.
Okay.
And I have a Canon Sure Shot Joy, like another point and shoot.
Okay. Another point and shoot.
All
good.
film cameras.
Yes. So my Minolta is the only one that has like more control on it, like it's an
Yeah,
FWR.
yeah.
Yeah, there's our
Yeah.
point shoots.
This shot here for that little camera, very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. The contrast is nice. The shot itself is nice, first of all. No, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, it
Very
like
much.
the day, this was a different day, and it's like the lighting, like the specific meteorological conditions really affect what this point and shoot can do during the day, I think.
For
Yeah.
sure. Was
But-
it raining?
It
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
Yes.
there's
Actually,
like
yeah, because
water
I
on
think
the
you got
lens.
a little bit of water on the lens.
Yes, I have that.
Like we
Yeah,
can see
but-
just slight smears like around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a rainy day for sure.
Okay.
But nice shot though. I like it. I like it. Really?
Yeah.
Me impresiona, yeah.
It really, yep. You know, typically half frame is it really is half the size of so Melina, you know how 35 millimeter and like full frame and half frame, how they calculate it on the film?
Like resolution wise or
No. Actual size wise. How far to advance the film?
Maybe I'll listen to your expertise on it.
It's the number of sprockets.
Yeah.
Okay,
So a
right.
full frame is 8 squares,
Mm-hmm.
and the half frame only advances the film by 4 squares,
Oh, right, yes.
which
Okay.
makes it actually half the frame.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
advances so much.
When we
Exactly.
talk
Wait,
about
you-
sensors today, they went on such a tangent. Okay. Micro Four Thirds is considered the half frame of full frame cameras because that 4/3 ratio, the sensor is twice as small as a full frame sensor. So when it comes to APS-C,
Yeah,
Hold on, I got somebody send me a message.
Don't worry about getting older.
APS-C, which came from Kodak Advantix cameras, were actually only 30% smaller because it was on instead of a 35 millimeter film, it was on a 16 millimeter film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's and a lot of people don't like the half frame. Like if I don't know if you guys listen to photography podcasts, but there's a podcast in the States called I Dream of Cameras, and they literally call this half frame cameras, they call them half cookies.
They call them what?
A half a cookie.
Half a
Half a
cookie.
cookie.
They
Well-
call it a half a cookie photo because it's half a frame.
Yeah, well, you know, your 35 millimeter full frame is
Yeah.
24 millimeters by 36 millimeters.
36. That's right.
So this becomes 18 millimeters by 24.
Yep.
Which is the ratio changes slightly.
Yes.
The first ratio is 0.666
Right.
and this ratio is 0.75.
That's right.
Ça fait comme a little bit different composition.
Exactly. Well, it's a little square.
Well, yeah, basically it's three-quarter. It's three-quarters of the, you know.
Exactly.
It gives you, comment est-ce que je pourrais dire ça? It gives you another way to look at a photograph.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly. Great shot there, Melina.
Yeah, nice shot. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, this
I
was I was in a car that was driving a
Yeah,
bit
you were in a car. Yeah.
quickly.
You were driving on this one?
No, I wasn't driving.
Oh, okay, okay.
That would be like quite the multitasking.
Yeah.
Well, you know, shoot it just the, you know,
Yeah,
out the window type thing.
just say hope for the best.
But no, this one, and for a half frame camera, I believe that camera shoots at about 1/100th of a second.
Yeah, I think it was one 1/100th or one over 1/20th. I'm not, I can't remember. Yeah.
And notice how, you know, she's still, or he's still, I don't know if it's a he or a she,
It was a she.
but the jogger is still in motion, but yet frozen in time.
Well, I think it's because of the car.
Yeah, like two things were moving.
Yeah, two things are
And
Okay,
the-
so you were moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. But
because if you look at the trees in the background, they're
That's
slightly,
right.
they're slightly have movement blur in it.
yeah,
But she doesn't. She has less. She has
That's
less
true.
because you know.
And she was moving with the
Yeah,
car.
with you. Yeah, exactly.
That
But
would
you
be,
think-
imagine she was frozen and the trees looked like they were moving.
but
Yeah.
you see, still with film, I find it so much nicer
It is
because the grain plays with the dynamics of the motion.
absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
Yeah, it does.
if it was shot in digital, it would be so sharp that it probably wouldn't work as well.
No, yeah. I have a similar shot, Milena.
Yeah, with the stop sign, right? Or with a sign or something.
Yeah, I took it a couple of years ago. I think I put it in one of the contests there, one of the
One of Facebook groups?
exhibitions there. No, well, somewhere. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think we even reviewed it on one of AG's.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I took this because I was thinking of Uncle Bob, actually.
Okay.
I was thinking of his shot, but
Yeah.
I seem to remember AJ saying like if the jogger's like going away or so there should be more space in front of the jogger.
Yes.
But
yeah.
I didn't do it in time for that. But
Well, yeah, but I like the shot. It's a nice shot.
Yeah, but it still works because
Yes, it
the
does. Yeah.
signs that are behind are balanced,
oh right, okay.
right?
Yeah.
And they're both included.
And her movement is well, you know, you hit it at the right time. Her movement
Yeah.
with her leg up, toute la patente, you
Yeah.
hit it well, you know?
Okay.
Exactly. Great shot. Fantastic.
This one's really distorted because of the raindrops and the movement.
Well,
Yeah.
here because you're shooting through the windshield, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, yeah,
It's like, oh, it could be a stenope, right? Or no?
it could be a stenope.
It could be a stenope,
It could
yeah.
be a stenope,
It could be
yeah,
a stenope.
Good distance, Pete. It's
See, just this. Okay, so here, the
yeah,
difference is this curb,
yeah,
right? So
Yeah.
by just cropping slightly,
a little more, yeah.
this
Okay.
line now is a
Now it
lot. The
makes it
curb
better.
here is aligned with the corner,
Okay.
and you have more motion, and you're not distracted by the open street over here,
That's right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But again, I mean, as an Instamatic, and basically that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because it only has one shutter speed, it has one aperture, it has one focal. Like, there's no focusing on this camera.
No, yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Okay. I think it's an f11 if I'm not mistaken. If it's not an f8, it's an f11.
It's like,
And you know, it evidently the blur comes from the fact that you're in a moving car.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you can still make a great
rainy
shot
day
of
en
this.
plus.
On a rainy day en plus. And yeah, and low light en plus aussi.
C'est ça, that's what I mean, yeah.
yeah, it has its limits.
Well,
It does, it does, it does.
but it also doesn't mean that you can't take the shot.
Yeah.
No, exactly, exactly. In fact, you know, as a photographer, all the years I've been doing this, I always take the shots and I worry about them after.
Yeah.
You know what
Exactly.
I mean? You take the shot,
Exactly.
see what I got, and then what can I make with it?
And
Especially
that's exactly what I want to teach in my workshop.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Is
If
not to be afraid,
no, if something attracts you, shoot it.
shoot it.
You know what I mean?
You know? That's what photography is all about,
Absolutely.
right? It's your interpretation of what you see.
That's right.
Stop shooting for the internet. Stop shooting for, you know, for Monsieur, Madame, tout le monde. They don't know what the hell they're looking at.
No.
You know,
No,
they're
exactly.
impressed by things that they've never seen in their lives more than anything else. They, you know, again, you know, that's, you need to have some kind of a, and I come back to the basics. You have to have some kind of comprehension of what you're looking at to understand, not to reinterpret, to understand the interpretation initially from the artist, not to reinterpret the artist's work, to appreciate the artist's work. That's what art is about, right?
Mhm. Absolutely.
I know I'm preaching.
Okay.
On to the next. Here's a beautiful shot here from Mark. See, okay. And this is not, I'm not commenting on Mark. This is digital off the bat.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
right away, yeah.
And this is film. This is film.
Yeah.
This is film, right?
Yeah.
When you look at digital photography, it's too precise. It's too
But it
perfect.
doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be, absolutely. But because we can do it, right?
Yeah.
We do it. So here, even if I zoom slightly into the shot, I mean, look at the lines, how the lines are, you know, they're so sharp. I mean, evidently, you could do this kind of photography with a 50 or a 25 ISO.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
your light, you need the light,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
For sure.
Mark, great shot. The only thing, not the problem, sorry, it's not a problem, but the only comment I would have here is the fact that you cut somebody halfway off here. And you cut off his foot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Pull back a little bit, and I'm sure this was shot with a zoom. Pull back a little bit and just tasse-toi un peu à gauche. Right?
Or pull in.
Or pull in. Absolutely.
Or pull in and, you know, do a
Yeah, you could do a 3/4.
a torso shot. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, something like this.
Yeah.
Right? That works better. Right?
Yeah.
And actually, Mark, the way you shot it, you know, all the heads are contrasted to the background. So in the sense that they all come out,
Yeah, absolutely.
right? Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. Okay, no, this is the shot. He did leave the foot in.
Oh, he did leave.
Oh,
All right,
okay,
that's good.
sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
That was me.
yeah.
Sorry, Mark. I take that back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But still, see this guy over here? This is where composition comes in. This guy's looking this way. So evidently we have that feeling of what's he looking at. So l'œil s'échappe vers la droite because this guy's looking outside the frame. Rather, if we did something more like this, bring this back up a bit, right there, that's a better shot. Because you're concentrating on the interaction that's going on here.
Yeah.
You know, but otherwise, Mark, it's a great shot. The exposure is fantastic. I mean, having that sky the way that it's gradient is here from you know, this was probably either in the morning or in the afternoon.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was in the morning. It was last week, I think, last week or.
Oh, was it last
Yeah,
week?
I think it was
Oh, this la sortie à La Fontaine.
Yeah,
Right.
sorti La Fontaine.
Where were you guys at the in the park?
That was on Easter. It was on Easter.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was in the morning. I think it was planned in the morning of Easter.
Fantastic. Beautiful shot there, Mark.
During the brief ceasefire in 2023.
No, this is
Yes.
cute.
This
One-legged
Really good.
wood duck.
real nice stuff. Yeah, real nice.
Fantastic
Wow.
focus. Contrast colors are great.
Yeah,
Could
excellent.
use a little bit more light over here.
I saw sexual assault with female hostages.
Keith says things got.
But
But-
I find the focus is excellent.
Oh yeah.
The lens that he used had to be a strong lens,
Oh yes.
you know, to get this type of squish, you know, in the background. the
Exactly.
blue.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful shot. In fact, look, I even marked bad shot.
Typically, this type of lens, if it's a 600mm lens, you're at f8,
Yeah.
7.1 f8. So
Absolutely.
il y a beaucoup d'écrasement in the background,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like a half a bucket of water, a cup.
and it just happens that you know the ducks are well contrasted against the creamy background,
Yeah, and they're both looking the same way.
and they're both looking the same way exactly. And you have your negative space.
You know why?
Belle shot, Marc.
Yeah, very, very good.
Yeah.
Or
Oh my, a family of turtles.
Yeah, this one, yeah,
This
lovely.
one's good too.
This
Yeah.
is beautiful.
Wow.
yes,
Where was he when he took these?
they did
I
depend
don't know, he's not
Well,
here.
this must be at the pond at Parc.
whether they
Oh, could be, yeah.
You think
Yeah.
it was that day, maybe? Yeah.
Bob
Wow.
mentioned.
Yeah, it could
My
be.
only comment, Marc, is these two branches over here.
Very, very scared that
Fallait que tu te montes, que tu tasses à droite or quelque chose pour enlever ça. Because
so maybe that was the way.
when I look at it, the branches are the first things I see, and they're pointing in the opposite direction that all the turtles are pointing in.
Escape, should I not escape?
But they do flow with that big piece of
Wait,
wood.
which
Oh, they
branches?
do.
Which
These
bottom
these
one?
branches right here, there. There's two branches. These
Oh,
two
okay. Oh,
yeah.
those ones in the front that are now focused.
yeah.
Oh, I
the-
thought it was, yeah, I was like, at first I thought it was a reflection in the water.
no.
Or no, it's not. No.
Yeah.
No, ideally, if they weren't there, would be better, but
Better, yeah.
even with them there, at least they're in the same
Mhm.
angle nearly as the big piece of wood.
Absolutely. It just takes away a little, like when you look here, it takes away it takes it takes a little away from the reflections of the tortoises. Notice here you've got each reflection of each turtle.
Yeah, yeah, except
But when
that-
you get here, because they're brighter, these two sticks here are brighter.
Yeah.
The eye falls here, falls there.
yeah, it could have raised just a little bit and it would have
Just a
been,
little bit. And
Yeah.
having a bit of separation would have just made the whole difference.
yeah,
But again, Mark,
but a nice shot
exposure
though. Nice
fantastic.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah, nice shot.
And I didn't
Mark
think
being
turtle families were that big.
me neither. No, but Mark, just one quick one because I know you're you like Photoshop and stuff like that. See this here? You could have dodged a bit. Attends, is it dodge or burn? Yeah, dodged.
Yeah.
Right here, just this part right there. But other than that, beautiful shot. And actually, it's surprising too, because normally you get more speckled light on the tortoise's shells. And here, Mark, you did a really good interpretation of the light here.
And made to share for new
Good job.
rice and water.
See, we got a high key.
High key, yeah.
Huh?
What I like about this is that the black comes out.
Yes.
You know, that black piece on the bottom adds to the high key part,
Absolutely.
you know, because normally in a high key, you don't see too much black, but it answered it. I don't know, it answered it.
And even still, even your high key and your whites and your highlights,
Yeah,
you still have the knots.
and the wood, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
You still have the you know what I mean? You have
Yeah.
the lats, you have the knots. Evidently, you don't have as much texture, but it works perfectly, and it blends with the sky, but it's still separate from the sky.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. No, it's a nice shot. It's a nice shot.
T'avais fait ça où?
If I remember right, I was in a car and we were passing a building in dans le Nord,
Okay.
and this building was close to the street, and
Right.
we were just going at a speed that I didn't have to stop.
Okay.
I just photographed it. I think the original photograph is in color,
Okay.
and in color I said, no, c'est pas fort, tu sais, c'était pas fort.
Why?
But I started fooling around with it and put it in black and white, because usually I test
Okay.
to see what they look like in both.
Right.
And then I said, oh, I can make this into a nice high key, see?
Right. Wait.
And it came out pretty good, I find. You know,
And this is with the ZF?
this with the ZF, yeah.
Nice. Actually, my class on Friday, one of the students had a ZFC.
Okay.
Nice shot.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
nice.
Thank you. Now,
See, this was in Greece.
yes, this was in Greece. And
Wow.
I'm gonna tell you something
Oh, yeah.
about why I put this shot up. Because personally, it doesn't tell a story
Okay.
to me. Okay.
Okay.
I took the picture,
Right.
you know, and I took the time to make it into the right tones and all that stuff there.
Yeah.
But the shot itself doesn't tell a story. And I wanted to put it on to discuss that.
Okay.
A lot of people take pictures that don't say nothing.
Yes.
And this is one of them.
True.
To me, you know,
But it works.
technically it's right. You know, everything's in focus.
Everything's in, yeah.
You know, the balance of color is fine. You know what I mean? But there's no story in here.
Well, there's no specific story here,
No.
but you know, you have people waiting for, or they look like they're waiting to get to their tables.
Yeah.
I mean, evidently it's a restaurant.
Yeah. It's an outdoor, you know.
It's an outdoor,
That
it's an
whole
outdoor,
street,
exactly.
You know, that whole street is like one restaurant after the other.
Okay.
But you don't really see it in this picture. You know
No.
what I mean? I would have liked someone standing on the balcony on top. And
Yes.
I didn't get it. I waited a little bit, but I didn't get it anyway.
Okay.
So I took a shot anyway, and I said, you know, I'll see what it comes out with. I do like the tones, but like I say, as a story, it doesn't say anything to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and this would be a typical travel snapshot.
Yeah, basically, exactly. C'est pas,
I like the fact that you actually anchored that post there in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. We
Yeah.
actually see the floor that it's anchored to.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, most people would crop it, you know, just above,
That's right.
and then this post here would just be completely floating.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't tell you what it is, you know.
But still, your lines are nice and straight.
Yeah. No,
But
like I say, technically, it's okay,
Yeah.
but the story part, it's not there.
No.
To me,
My attention is drawn to the couple eating on the right.
Yeah, me too.
right. Yeah, that's right.
I don't know if there could have been a story in there.
Yeah, there could have been. There could have been. That's right. But I at the time when I took the picture, it started off that I just wanted to show the street, you know,
Mhm.
Okay.
and I was like undecided. Do I go left or do I go right?
Yeah.
So I like put everything in the middle.
But you see, these are I mean, even as photographers, we struggle with that, not constantly, but you know,
No, I agree. I agree.
we
It's
we
like,
do struggle with that, you
absolutely.
know.
I think there would have been a little bit more of a story if I would have. You see the guy in the back behind the sign Wriggle? He's
This
got
guy?
his hand in the air.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And if I would have zoomed in on that, maybe and with the pedestrians,
Yeah.
see, I would have had maybe more of a story to tell.
Oh, okay, there you go.
You see what I
Yeah.
mean?
There are a few stories within the
Yes, there are a few stories, but I didn't know which one to concentrate on. Like, you
I
know,
mean-
I mean, it was like,
This is one.
yeah, this is
Another
one.
one would have been, from what I was looking at, is to these guys here, right?
Yeah,
Shoot it more from this angle. Remove the street and shoot more face on, but maybe just 4 feet to your left.
well, zoom it in. Let's see what we got.
Well, it's because you'd really have to
You got to go down. Yeah,
more down like this.
yeah.
But
That's something.
have to remove this guy here because he's looking outwards.
Yeah, exactly. That's something, but you know, I'd have to work it more, you know.
Oh
more.
yeah, for sure.
But I really did put it on, Andrew, to show that
Absolutely.
sometimes there's no story. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It just
And the thing is that there might not be a story in this particular photo, but don't take it as a I'm talking to everybody else out there.
yeah,
You know, take the shot to remind you that, you know, this story is missing. I mean, this photo is missing a story, but don't try to correct it in post processing,
no,
because cropping it's literally you need another perspective.
yeah,
And that's also an error I see when I give my travel photography class or my travel photography. Oh, Luc Olivier just posted something.
Oh, good.
Sorry, he just posted on the chat in the YouTube channel.
Ah.
Good evening, folks. Sorry I missed my reminder for 8 p.m. Was
Oh.
too focused catching up on my scanning backlog. Listening
That's a
in
good
while
one.
continuing on my backlog. No problem. Mais Luc Olivier, you can always jump in
Sorry,
anytime.
he just
Don't worry
posted on the
about it.
chat.
Oops.
You can jump in anytime, Luc Olivier, if you have a couple seconds. What I was saying is that in travel photography, even if you don't think there's a story, shoot it anyways, just so that you can try to think about looking at it later, what it is you could have done better.
Absolutely.
Don't just try to correct it in post-processing by recropping it,
Yeah,
because recropping it doesn't change the vantage point. It just tightens in at the same time of sacrificing your resolution.
absolutely. And you know, you like when I take a shot, I try not to make it that I have to crop more than 15%.
Boy, I go quarter.
You go according to 25%, but
But 20, I don't crop more
once
than
in a
25.
while. But really, when I'm taking the photograph, I think that if I got to clean up, I can clean up maybe 15%. You know
Okay.
what I mean? The red, because I don't want to lose too much resolution.
Ben,
either,
c'est ça exactement.
you know. So anyway, it was just more a picture to remind.
But
people
it's a great discussion point.
well, that's why I put it on. You know, I figure it was a good thing to discuss. You know.
Absolutely. Because, you know, and in our classes, you know, at the shop, we try to emphasize more the artistic capture rather than the documentary capture, because over the years, specifically with evidently with digital photography, because we can take so much more photos than we could in film.
Yeah.
Film, we have to be very decisive on what we shoot because
Absolutely.
it costs money.
Yeah.
Right. I was just talking about before Milena joined us with
What
Uncle
happened?
Bob
Yeah.
about talking about slide photography and how, you know, you're looking at. I was looking at the Ektachrome, which is the Kodak slide film, color film, and it's almost $50 a roll.
Yeah, wow.
You know, $50 a roll divided by 36, that's almost $1.75 a shot.
That's right, you know.
You know, so you know, we have to be more decisive on what we shoot in film, evidently, but in digital photography, and don't stop at one shot necessarily, right? I mean, I stop at one shot when I know I got my shot. But if you want to take, you know, this particular restaurant front over here, Uncle could have taken 2 or 3 shots
Absolutely.
just by moving
And
2
I
steps
did.
to the right, 3 steps to the left.
Yeah, that's true.
In reality, I have a lot more shots than this one, but I chose this one for this, you know,
Yeah.
to bring up this discussion. You know what I mean?
Loco commented over on because I was talking about the Ektachrome.
Yeah.
He said, buy Flick Film Chrome 100. It's half the price.
Ah, c'est bon, c'est bon.
And
Well,
it's true, it is half the price. I haven't tried it yet. I still have to try it. But it is half the price, and I'm pretty sure it's re-spooled Ektachrome.
could be,
I have to check with them, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
could be. Anyway, if you do find something in the $25, $30, up to $30, you know, talk to me about it. I take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got to be E6 processed.
That's right. Well, I'll check it tomorrow as soon as I get to the shop,
All right.
and then I'll bring it to you.
Okay, no problem.
Ah,
This is a nice.
this is a nice shot.
Yeah.
This was from my boat, from my
Wow.
ship.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, and I call it groupies because whenever you're in these places in Europe, there's always a bunch of little boats around you. They're like
I was
groupies.
wondering what that description was.
Well, they're like groupies to the big boat.
Oh yeah.
They like you come and see who's on the boat just in case, you know, George Clooney's on the boat or something.
I didn't realize you were
Oh.
on the boat. I thought you were inland.
No, I was on the boat on this one here, and from my balcony, I saw this. I took a bunch of pictures because I have other shots of the guardhouse there with the guards talking and all that stuff. there.
Okay.
But I like this shot here because there's another boat in the background, big boat in the background,
That's right.
and no, I liked it. It's a general shot, and you know, this tells a little bit of story. You
Yeah.
know. No, and the tones are nice.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's doing their own thing, you know, because on each boat there's somebody, and if you look at the
Yeah, we
lower left-hand corner,
here.
there seems to be somebody talking to a worker.
Yeah.
And saying, you know, and so it was pretty interesting, you know.
And I like the way that the brick here, the white brick,
Yeah,
offsets the water.
offsets the water, and it still has detail.
That's exactly, still has detail.
It still has detail, but and oddly enough, one thing I look at a lot when black and white is when I photograph a street,
Yeah.
if it gives the sense of a street and not just a gray.
Okay.
And if you look at it, or if you zoom in a bit, you'll see grain in the street, you know? And you know what I mean? It's not just a smooth, it's not just a smooth thing. There's like,
Right.
there's grain in it. Yeah, I know it's a little bit it's soft because of the focus, but it's there. You get the feeling that it's a real street and not just.
Definitely. This was in Greece too?
This was in Malta.
Oh, Malta. Okay.
Yeah, this is in Malta.
Very nice shot, see.
Yeah,
very
it is.
beautiful.
And are you metering using evaluative, or are you metering center weighted?
I'm most of the time I'm center weighted. Once in a
Center-weighted?
while I'll put it on matrix, but you know, most
Yeah.
of the time I like better center weighted personally.
Yeah, me too. I've been starting to get more used to the center weighted than the matrix
Yeah,
or the multi, or what Canon calls evaluative.
yeah,
Because here it would have screwed around because there's so much white.
yeah.
It would have actually underexposed much more.
I think so, and I think it would have done two things. It would either taken the white of the bricks
Yeah,
and underexposed the brown the dark, or it would have taken the dark and overexposed the bricks.
right.
You know, and I think the center weight, and if you look at the center of the photograph, there's a good mixture of whites and darks.
Yes.
So the balance came out just nice thing.
Very good. See, I love it.
Yeah.
Thank
very
you.
good.
Thank you.
Ah, with the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, this was in Lechne. Actually, I'll tell you what this picture was for originally. You know, Milena, there's that
Yes.
exposition that they're talking about at the club, and they were talking about to have pictures of yellow things in the park.
Yes. Okay.
Well, this is one of yeah, we were only allowed to submit 5 pictures. But this was one of them that because what I did is I took 15 pictures, different pictures that had yellow in them, and this is one of them.
Well, very nice.
But it didn't have enough yellow compared to the other ones. You know what I mean?
Okay, so this one you submitted?
I know I did not submit it because
Oh,
it
okay.
doesn't have enough yellow.
Okay.
But
Oh,
I like the shot. You know what I mean?
Shot works really well.
it's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is a nice shot. This was taken with the ZF too.
And the awning brings us towards, that's what's nice about it, is everything falls towards the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it disappears at the bottom, you know?
Exactly.
No, it's a nice shot, and no, I like it. The sky is just light enough, you know.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, and the yellow's yellow.
Yeah, no, beautiful shot. Sorry, I was distracted.
Yeah,
I was just looking at what Luco was writing in the chats, but
He's still writing?
I also just realized I was talking to you guys in the beginning of the session about my manual that I made here.
Okay.
The actual Flick Film Chrome is respooled Ektachrome 100. And I
Okay.
just realized that Ektachrome compared to because Ektachrome is what replaced technically Kodachrome.
That's right.
Kodachrome was a cubic.
They
was a
did
cubic
exist at the
grain.
same time, though.
Pardon? No, they didn't. And they did
Yes, they did.
because Ektachrome is a tabular grain, not a cubic grain.
I understand, but
Kodachrome was cubic.
I understand, but they did exist at the same time.
Oh no, well yeah, well they existed at the same time, but it was towards the end that Ektachrome came out.
Yeah,
End
but
of
I still had, listen, in 1971, 72,
They had Ektachrome?
I had both. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, you did have both?
Yeah. But the Ektachrome at the time was a 64. Was Ektachrome,
Oh, okay.
which
because-
was,
Go ahead.
you had Ektachrome 64 and you had right up to 200.
Okay. Because I was surprised to find out that Kodachrome
Yeah.
was
Uh-huh.
introduced by Eastman Kodak. You know when? See?
1940 something?
35.
35, yeah, something like that.
35.
Yeah. And it wasn't Kodak guys who invented it.
No,
No.
it wasn't.
You know, that's the funny. I think they were dentists. If I was
Ben oui,
if I was
exactly.
right. Yeah, they were dentists. I think.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm so happy I did that manual. There's so much stuff that I didn't realize, and I mean I probably covered it in my classes when I was in college, but
Yeah.
I didn't remember it as well
No, for
as
sure,
now.
For sure. Absolutely.
Beautiful sunset here in Costa Rica.
Yeah. Believe it or not, this was taken with my underwater Olympus.
Really?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Yeah.
It's an underwater camera. The pixelation is completely different from the Nikon.
Okay.
This usually runs on 180 DPI, whereas the Nikon runs on 300 DPI.
Okay.
So, but it you know, the clarity isn't the same,
Right.
but for a shot like this, it's just fine.
And do you remember the exposure? Because it looks like it's a bit of a long exposure, because
It
the
was-
water The water
Yeah,
seems to
The
be
moving, yeah. This was probably around 1/30th of a second.
okay. And this is from the boat or from the beach?
No, I'm sitting on a catamaran.
Oh, really? Oh,
I'm sitting on a
wow.
catamaran, and see, we got on the boat at 11 in the morning, and we finished around 8 o'clock at night. But in Costa Rica at 6 o'clock,
Yeah,
this happens, and by 6:30, it's black.
really?
It's like bang, it's
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
It's gone. So I have about 10 shots from this area there,
Okay.
but I like this one because I like the lighting on the mountain.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the lighting on the mountain. If
And
you look-
this red is beautiful here. This
Yeah.
orange red there.
yeah, it is. It is a beautiful. Really, the sky was beautiful over
The
there.
colors are very unique.
Yeah, and no, it's nice shot.
Have you tried printing this?
No,
And if not, would you?
uh, I might try. I might try because I'm trying to. I have a lot of 4x6 paper,
Okay.
and I have a little album of 4x6 that I try to put in the best shots. So I might try it. I might try
Okay.
it 4x6. I don't want to make it big one, but
Yeah.
nice small one is good.
I'll be honest, a lot of stuff I'm doing now in print is mostly 5x8.
7.
No, 5x7. Yeah, no, actually 5x8 because I take an 8x10 sheet.
Yeah,
I cut it in half.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
No, sorry, 8.5x11. So 8.5x11. So figure about 5.25.
Yeah.
By
8x8
10.
by 10.
Yeah. So I take
No,
I
that
take
doesn't
the
work.
I take the 3:2 ratio,
Yeah.
and basically I just stretch it across the 8 inches of the sheet.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I cut it in half, basically.
Yeah, basically.
But those of you who are printing, I print only black and whites when I do double prints like that on a paper. I
Yeah.
never mix color and black and white together.
No, absolutely.
Always color, black and white.
Yeah, me too.
Great shot. Oh, here we have a nice silhouette here.
Oh,
But that looks like Nick.
No, no, this Nick wasn't in Costa Rica with me.
Oh,
You can tell my bidet there.
oh, okay. I was looking at the hair.
Yeah, the hair, yeah.
What you didn't go with a mohawk, did you?
No, but I guess the wind and everything over there was windy beach.
This is at the
But,
beach, right?
Yeah, this is at the beach, and I just like shadows. I like shadows. And, when I saw it, I said, "Oh, not too bad." I could have propped it a little higher to cut my bidet a bit, but I said, "What the hell? It's me."
Oh, why?
Yeah, it says it's me. It's me. So
I mean, I would have even zoomed a little bit out a bit more, and maybe you got you mid thigh.
yeah, maybe, yeah. But it was like one of those shots. You take at the last minute there, click.
By the way.
yeah.
This was Costa Rica too.
This is Costa Rica too. Yeah.
I
This-
remember.
By the way, Costa Rica was taken, all the shots in Costa Rica, if they weren't taken with the underwater camera, they were taken with the D5300, the Nikon D5300.
Oh, you didn't bring the Z.
Ah,
I didn't bring the Z there. I
the
want,
D,
it's
the
good. I haven't-
D5300 series. Yeah, I have the 5500.
yeah, exactly. This is a D5300. It's because it's been sitting in my camera case like for 2 years and I haven't touched it. So I'm gonna bring it with me this time. So,
And how did you enjoy it?
good. Oh, yeah,
Going back.
pretty good. It's pretty
Yeah.
good. But I mean, when I compare it with the Z,
Yeah.
the ZF, you can see the sharpness and the contrast in the ZF is much more advanced.
And plus, you have a lot less noise.
A lot less noise, exactly.
You have a lot less noise on the Zs.
Yeah, I agree.
Beautiful shot, see.
Thank you.
Ah, there we go.
Oh yeah, I know
That's-
that guy.
This one, and again, this one. Whoops. What happened back here? Wait, go back here. So just to give a little background, that image, which is the bot, no, it's easier to go back up here. This was a weekend event I did at Baie des Chaleurs. Was it Baie des Chaleurs? No, no, pas Baie des Chaleurs. This was where was this? This was past Quebec City.
Okay. Past Quebec City?
Past Quebec City in the mountains,
Uh,
right on the edge of I cannot remember now. Is it Baie des Chaleurs? No, it's not Baie des Chaleurs.
Baie des Chaleurs, I don't know. I don't know enough about that area.
It's
Not Vaillancourt.
no.
Oh,
It's
Valcourt.
I can't remember it now. I'm not gonna pas Baie des Chaleurs. It's
I anticipate having all fire ants.
where the big crater is from that asteroid meteorite that hit the hit Quebec I don't know how many years ago, thousands of years ago. En tout cas, it was a weekend event for a ski hill, and I did one photo walk on the Friday afternoon, 2 on the Saturday, and 2 on the Sunday.
Okay.
I can't remember what the mountain's called. Anyways, it was nice. It was I had a good group. We were doing portrait outside here. These were our 2 models, and I think I had about 25 people.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
So
Okay.
we've come towards the end of our evening. I thank you both for joining me. Merci Luco for chatting on the sur le chat de YouTube. Next weekend, next Saturday, the first Saturday of the month, is our round table.
Yeah.
I'll be posting the Zoom link for those who want to join us to talk about. Hey, Melina.
Hey, I'm back.
That's great.
Andrew, I can't see you no more. How come?
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. You can't see me?
No.
Hold on. There we go. I should be coming back in a second.
And how do we make everything big again?
Normally just click on the top bar of your window and it should fill the screen.
Okay, but that's only you know. I don't get everybody like before.
Oh yeah, no, because as we're talking, it switches to each of us
Ah, okay.
because we're multi-speakers.
Okay, d'abord, c'est bon.
Actually, though, I could do something. You know what? Here, if I do this.
Hello?
Well, now you turned off your camera.
Yeah, you're
Yeah, I
kind
see.
you go.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to, I thank you both for joining me and Luco for joining us through the chat. Next week is our round table. I'll send out a few more invitations to other photographers who might want to join us. I think Mark will be with us. You know who we haven't heard from in a long time is Marc Leboisière.
already.
We haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
I gotta try to get Fab on this thing.
Yes.
I told them
I
already.
would love to have Fab on
Yeah,
our
you
channel.
gotta get him on.
Mhm.
Get him on. Next week next week is the round table. I'm gonna see him on Tuesday, and I'm
You're
gonna
gonna see on Tuesday. Give him
try to
shit.
be there.
Tell him you're waiting for him,
To be there. You
and
know?
I'll go over there and I'll set it up for him if I have to.
So yeah, you know what I mean. The
Okay.
whole line, you know.
I want to thank you both. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, you too. And
See, I'll be seeing you tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay.
And
Keep shooting, everybody.
absolutely.
Don't stop.
Take it easy. Good night.
Take care.
Good night,
Thank you.
Milena.
Buonanotte.
Buonanotte a tutti quanti.
Bye.
Ciao. Gonna end this. Take care, guys. Don't forget, we got 2 more weekends. May 10th and 11th. N'oublie pas, c'est le fin de semaine de l'atelier de l'argentique. I'll show you again one more time real quick. You get a 100+ page guide we're going to be shooting, we're going to be developing, we're going to be scanning, and then prepping for print. So we'll see you guys soon.